Alright guys, what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be changing a power steering pressure hose on this. This is the 95 Jeep. So what I'm going to do here is your pressure line is this line here with the sensor in it, which you can see back there. So first things first is we're going to figure out where both ends of the line connect up. One connects up here. It looks like it's got a nut on there for tightening, and that threads into that. So we should be able to loosen that. Looking at the new hose, this spins, so we should be able to loosen that to unthread it from that. Okay. Before we take that off, we are going to go through, and I'm going to see if I can get this sensor out. Since the hose is hard mounted, we can move it, or it doesn't move. So it's going to be easier to get the sensor out. The next thing we need to do is figure out where that line goes. So it runs down, it goes below everything, it runs here. Mine is leaking down there on the steel line right there, steel part of the line, and it goes up to the power steering rack, which is down in there, it connects up. So the easiest way I could think to change it and get to it is, okay, as I was telling you guys, the line you want to get off is that one, okay, right there. Okay, you want to take that nut off, because that's your pressure line. I'm sorry about the focus, guys. It's hard to film that. There we go. That's your pressure line. You want to loosen that. Okay, now to do that, what you're going to have to do is, what I did is I have these chrome inserts. I took one of these off, so that way I can have a hand in there. Let's see here if I can show you guys. I took my wrench, and what I was able to do is I also have this off because I just did all the brake lines and everything. You can leave that on if you wanted to. Makes it easier so you can see everything. And I was able to go in up here because the pump's at an angle, so you're able to get in here. And let's see, there we go. You're able to get in there. Let's see, there we go. Able to get in there like so with your wrench and pull forward, and you can loosen it. It's not going to be that loose, but it's going to take some effort to pull it forward and snap it loose. Okay, I already broke this loose beforehand, so that way you guys can see. Now you're also going to want to make sure you have a catch pan under that. When you pull that hose off, it's going to run down and it's going to drip. Okay, now before we undo up here, what I'm going to do is I'm probably just going to pull my air box off, and that way I can get in here and get to that, so I have some work room. Now to pull the air box off, it's really simple. I covered it in some of my other videos, but I'll cover it again. You got this clip here, you got one there, and then you got one there, and then you got to take this off either here or up here. I had it off yesterday up there, so I know it'll come right out. Take this off here. I think I had this off up here, like that. Okay, and then you got to get it off up there, and you got to undo that clip down there, and then you can work it. I had it loose the other day, so it's already pretty much loose. And then take your air box out of the way, as long as your clippity down there don't get stuck. And then you can get to this and undo your connector somehow. It looks like when you can rotate it around, you pop that up like that, looks like, and I guess okay, there we go. So the one side unlocked. And then these look, when you look at these, it looks like they squeeze in. So I think you just squeeze them in like that. That's what it looks like it does. Might need two hands to do it, but that's what it looks like they do. So hold on a second. And with video magic, it's off. So now, that's all you have to do is just squeeze it. You can see the one side is just a hook, the other one's you just squeeze, and it pops off. And then this, I think, should just, hopefully just slip off. And there we go. It's just 2 plugs, just slips off. So then I can get in here now with a wrench and see if I can break that loose there and unscrew that from that line before I pull the line off. Since the line's rigid right now, it's easier to do it now instead of later. Alright guys, so I've gone through, I got my sensor out of there. So since it was hard mounted, it's easier to do. I'm going to put the sensor back in when I put the new line back on. Now, I found this line here to be a 9/16. No, that's not the right brand. It was a 9/16. Maybe that was the sensor. Sensor might have been, yeah, the sensor was a 9/16. This line here is a 16. I already broke it loose, so you just got to unscrew it. From that, you might have to put a wrench on that fitting too, just to make sure the fitting doesn't turn. Just go ahead and unscrew your line, and it comes out like so. So now, like I said, make sure you got a catch pan down there, which I do have. So this one end of the line's off here, so I can then take this and I'm just going to kind of shove it down here, so hopefully it will drip on my catch pan. That's what I'm hoping. So, okay, now we got the old line out. I gotta prep the new line. What you gotta do when I say prep is, you see this little bag here? This little bag has 2 O-rings. So you gotta make sure to put the O-rings there and there. So you gotta open that bag, put the new O-rings on it, take the zip tie out, and then fish your lines through, and then you can attach, just screw your new lines in, tighten them down. So that'll be about it. Then you gotta fill, of course, when you do that, you are gonna have to fill your reservoir and do it. I'm actually happy I found out I didn't have to pull this loose like I was thinking I had to. So I was able to get a lot of the stuff through the grill. So I had, like I said, I had these chrome inserts in here. I had to take them loose, and then I can get in there and do it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and put the O-rings on there. I'm gonna fish the line through from underneath. I'm gonna bring the end that goes up to the pump. I'm gonna put it in that way and run it through this way, you know, run it through forward so I can get that on. And I'm gonna get that one hooked up first, since it's gonna be harder since it's down in there. And then I can do this one back here. So if you want to change your return line, you would cut that clamp off and you can run a new line up to this. And then you could also, if you wanted to, run a new line there. These aren't leaking, so I'm not gonna bother doing that because I had issues with rust. So that's why I changed that line. So as you guys can see, I also installed the brake lines, new brake lines on it too, a Dorman kit. So now when you guys are hooking up this line down here, okay, watch your radiator. You see how close it is? I actually had to tweak my line a little bit so then it would clear and not be up against the radiator. So you got to watch that when doing it. If not, it's going to sit there and chafe a hole in the line and it's going to start leaking because it's up against the radiator. So just watch that when you guys install yours, because you can see how I can move it a little bit. So I had to bend it a little bit to make sure it wasn't up against it. So watch that on the lower hose. Alright guys, this is another one of the ones that I had to tweak. These hoses from Advanced Auto, just, they fit, but they're not right. They're just not bent right. So the port's here. Before, the port was up against these hoses, so I was able just to grab the line and pull it and bend it a little bit. You can see the tweak in there a little bit. If you do bend it, you want to make sure you got it more or less tight so you don't screw up the flare down there, and you don't want to crease it, then it will leak. But now I can go ahead and screw this fitting back into this, and it will actually clear my fuel lines, because you don't want to rub a hole in these lines. These are fuel lines back here. That's a fuel line. One's a pressure, one's a return. This should be your return, I think, is a regulator. Right there, I think that's the regulator for it. So this should be your pressure, that should be your return. So, but you can go ahead and put the sensor back in. I don't know what the sensor does, but it's probably for check engine light or something, I guess. So you can go ahead and put that back in and tighten that up. And then you can take your sensor and plug it back in there. We're good to go. Then take your little plastic cover thing and pop that back over that. If you can get it back on one-handed. Maybe you can, maybe you can't. Maybe you're a better man than me, I don't know. Maybe I put it on in the wrong spot, I don't know. We'll see. So that's supposed to hold it on there. I guess I got it back in the right spot. It's close enough, it works, it's latched. So we got the sensor back on, we got this line tight, and we got the other line tight. So now what you can do is you can go ahead and put your air box back in. And then you can also open your power steering and fill your power steering up with fluid. So that's how you do it.